Ooh, nice. Okay, I'm hitting all my stream buttons. All my stream buttons. That sounds like a urinary tract problem. No record channels. That's because I have to hit that.
IPA. I put awesome.
I put awesome is what IPA stands for. You know, it's a golf thing.
So he wants to put that on the jersey.
This?
That's Paramore. Mm-hmm. That's who the brewer is.
Sorry, I'm just checking to make sure everything's working. This is live stream offline on our...
But it's not official, so you can't talk about it. So hopefully he's not recording.
I am recording, but we're not live. Well, we are live. Technically, we're live, but... Are we all alive?
Pat, I realized listening to the show a couple weeks ago that you have said, well, rip me a new asshole for like 50 years.
Really?
Yeah. You've said that since you were a teenager. So that's like 40 years.
That's a good friend right there.
So it's like as soon as he said that, I went in, I got a little PTSD. As soon as he said that, I just like the white.
When did I say rip me a new asshole when we were young?
Oh, I think through your whole teen years. You've always
I never
said that.
I was too terrified to swear when I was younger.
No. We were probably away from home.
Really?
You were probably gone from home.
My dad would have kicked my ass
if he knew.
He would have ripped me a new asshole.
And
I missed that opportunity. Why?
Yeah.
And there's another one. There was another one you said that I think has to do with food, and I can't remember it right now, but I will. It was another saying, a patism.
Patism.
Yep.
I want a better term.
I've got a couple of them.
A bulgism.
Well, hey there. The Packfiller podcast is about to begin. You can always follow the show through Instagram, Twitter, and even Facebook if you're still into that sort of thing. The show is streamed live every Tuesday at 6 o'clock Pacific on our Packfiller Productions YouTube channel, as well as on the Podbean app. You can call the show directly from Podbean and chat along in the discussion on both platforms. Now let's get to the Packfiller podcast. And before I begin, I need to throw out some thanks. In case you haven't heard of these companies before, welcome to the podcast. Gooder Sunglasses. If you signed up for Club Packfiller, you're going to love sporting our Gooders coming up to our second swag box. Check out the entire line of fun, sporty, non-slip, cool-looking, and downright affordable sunglasses at Gooder.com. If you're up for it, you can buy multiple pairs and not have to explain the significant others or even your bank account why you can look so cool for so many different occasions. Amen. Thanks to Giant Bikes, you guys. Giant continues to innovate. If there is a desire to straddle a top tube and feel the freedom that only cycling can offer. I have a lot of spit in my mouth. I got to swallow a lot there. But Giant has the bike for the occasion. Get to giantbikes.com, or even better, check out your local bike shop, LBS, today. Finally, thanks to Scratch Labs, fueling the Packfiller officially for its third year. Thanks, you guys. Thanks, Scratch. That's swell. I'm sure they love that.
Better your pits than your balls.
Scratching?
Depends where the itch is.
That's what I said, better than pits than the balls.
We've lost our ball jokes because of the loss of a recent sponsor. I don't blame them. Hey, let's do this. It is Tuesday. It is 6 o'clock. The beers are poured. The mics are hot. Bikes are on our brains, and opinions may vary. Welcome to the Packfiller. I am Pat Bolger. With me are some of my fellow addicts of the two-wheeled lifestyle. First and foremost, Mr. Paul Main. How the hell are you, man?
Doing all right. Hanging in there.
That's great. Great response. Mr. Jack Broadhead, I'd like to ask you a question. What did you do with Runner Jack, and how long can you keep him away?
Well, I'm trying to keep Runner Jack's body, because I'll be lighter on the.
Does Runner Jack have a bigger dick?
It's all the same. That's the same size. But my legs are way smaller. I've seen some pictures lately, so
they're small.
My legs are way smaller than they used to be. So.
Because of cycling?
Because of running and inactivity.
Oh,
Atrophy.
Atrophy.
Yeah.
Inactivity sounds better,
Yeah.
but yeah. No, I'm all good.
Mr. Jackson Bulger, have you recovered from the snowpocalypse?
We have. It's wet here now.
I gave you extra time just in case you needed it there. I allotted time for
I thought
everybody
you'd
to
say
respond,
something
but
about
he was just
these new fenders have kept me dry, though.
He's not a fender guy yet.
Uh-huh.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
Oh,
End of the month.
we're going to get to that. And I do want to comment on your choice of kind of we are live on YouTube, and we are obviously live on Podbean. But for the YouTubers out there, I want to comment on the whole Jerry Seinfeld meets modern preppy kind of a thing you got going there. It's the guys can't see it here in the studio. It's a black Champion sweatshirt with a crimson red collar coming out of the top. He's got just the kind of thing going on there.
Not a hoodie.
No,
Crew neck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And he's got his blue Gooders on.
that's sort of.
Cha-ching.
Exactly.
He's ahead of his time. He's dressing like a 50-year-old.
Here in Portland, we do it a little
Layers.
differently.
Layers.
I think what we're going to keep doing is giving Jackson shit until he just breaks down and looks at one. Not looks at it because he can't look at us,
No.
but just flat out say, you know what, Jack, fuck you.
I'm surprised.
We're just waiting for that moment because he still hasn't sworn.
Yeah,
He
no.
does the F. He does the letter. And
F and
he's a good boy. He's a good boy. By the way, this is something that I wrote into my notes, and this is a very odd time for me to segue into it. But after having Ann Mariah on the show recently, Ann Mariah Rook, a great person, really knowledgeable person in the sport, and I love having her on the show. But some of you have taken to social media to throw us a little flack when it comes to female representation on the show because I introduce all these guys at the beginning of the show, and some people said to me about this last week, Coffee and Comments, where I was talking about the fact where I said, hey, you guys, and the guys who mountain bike, and guys. First of all, that's a term I use when I say guys. I maybe I
It's
need
a
to rethink
non-gender?
that. It is, and maybe I need to rethink that. Maybe you,
Y'all.
But what do you, y'all? Do I do it? Yeah, fuck. But I don't know.
My people.
My peeps. Nah, that makes me sound like a douchebag.
Well, better than a.
You mean you don't know?
I don't. I am.
I don't know. It's
But I do want to address, if you are a woman and you want to sit here and talk bikes on Tuesdays and drink beer, by all means, send me an email and come on down.
You have to sit next to farting
Paul. Yeah. But it's one of the P's that farts.
Yeah.
Do you think we're consciously doing this as a men-only club? Because we aren't. We aren't that smart. I can hopefully say that this, and I think that this and every member of the Packfiller, I hope I can say this for them, that we are full passionate supporters of women's cycling. If you don't believe us, you haven't been paying attention. You haven't been watching or listening to this show in any length or form. So there we go. If you want a podcast hosted by a full panel of women, God bless, we do too. Hell, I would produce it. I would be the guy to record it and host it and things like that. So there we go. Let's get to the show, shall we? Okay. Gentlemen, what do I start the show with every week?
You've been riding?
Who's riding? Who is riding? Who wants to go first? Who wants to jump into this flaming pit of... You know what? I want to start with Jack Broadhead. Jack Broadhead, have you been riding? We know the answer, but the listener doesn't.
Yeah. 4 days.
Take your time.
4 days a week, with a run here and there. I'm sorry. I did flip flop the ratio. That was my goal the last 3 weeks, was to get the running up to 4 to 5. I'm sorry, get the riding up to 4 or 5, and the running down to 2.
You're riding 4 to 5 days a week.
I was riding 4 the last 3 weeks. So outside, hour to 2 hours. So
Paul just gave that a thumbs up. Yeah.
45-degree weather, sometimes rainy, sometimes sunny. But and some runs here and there.
How's it feeling?
Which, the running or the riding?
Riding. I don't care about the running.
Yeah, like we care about.
The running's harder after the riding, by the way. Yeah, it's just different. Good. My average speed's starting to kind of climb a little
Take
bit.
up a little bit.
A little bit. Lots of, sore legs every day. When you ride every day after day after day.
You're kind of
legs are
tired,
always
not
sore.
really sore.
Yeah.
Right?
My ass is sore. My assosaurus
Is it
is so
Did
bad.
you switch out
I
that
have
saddle?
not. I've not. I'm trying to break. I think I'm trying to break my ass in, not the saddle. So once my ass is broken in, then I'll buy a new saddle and I'll be just I'll be able to sit.
I gotta
out
tell you
hundreds
something
of
about
miles.
this.
That's backwards.
No, for the listener who doesn't understand what's going on, I sold Jack quite possibly one of the finest hand-built bicycles I've ever had in my house. A good friend of mine, Glenn Copus, built that bike, custom built for me, and I sold it to you because I just wasn't giving it the justice it deserved.
Yeah.
And the saddle, I do need to tell you, was an insult to that bike because the saddle my father found at a swap meet.
Sports recycle.
No,
store.
it was at the bike fair,
nice.
or whatever they have out at our
Nice.
fairgrounds, the bike swap meet.
Bike
Yeah,
swap,
he
yep.
found it at a swap meet, and he said,
Nice.
"Hey, a shop couldn't sell this. Do you want it?"
Swap meet saddle.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like my red. Can I have my Concord back?
I don't know where it is, but
I could.
I think it's holding up
it
the
would be
foundation
more
of the house
comfortable.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Be more comfortable than this saddle, but yeah, I think I'm thinking of going to Anatomica, the Sella Italia.
Yeah.
Yeah, leather.
Ooh,
Is that bad?
just don't go Brooks on me, because
No.
then you're just gonna
I'm just
start
like an
growing
old
up
guy.
the goatee and
Yeah.
start douching out on me.
Yeah.
Paul Main, you been riding?
A little bit. Rollers, did the stairs on Saturday.
I
and then
love how old school you are, and the listeners do too. They really do. I've been riding the rollers.
Yeah,
you
I did
tried
the
these
rollers.
strings out?
I didn't get out. I thought I was going to get out Sunday. Jack was
Yeah,
rolling into
we-
town, and
Yeah.
the weather
I
was
texted him.
really bad. But yeah, I did the rollers, and I did the Saturday. I did stairs, and a pretty hard session of that. I added another sequence.
Hey, you boys,
No, finish it.
you sweat. Hey, you boys, best keep sweating out there.
There you go. And then I came straight home and hopped on the rollers for another 45 minutes after that. So
I broke the band on my rollers. I had to order a new Menorah rollers
Did
band.
they
I
still
think I have
make
the
them?
same ones. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you can get them.
Aluminum barrel.
9.
I bought some.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
you
band.
can
I
get
went
them.
to
Yeah.
I went to open mine the other day and it went snap.
it's called dry rod.
Yes, I know. Kind of like my spandex, my lycra shit. You know.
I shouldn't mention that. Jackson Bulger, how's your riding been? I know you went today, but
Yeah, Portland weather's been getting a lot better. Today we had 50s and up, so that was nice. So I did a
shit.
yeah, I know, pretty nice.
Almost shorts.
You can say that again, sorry.
Almost shorts weather. 60 is
Yeah.
my rule of thumb. Did your dad ever teach you that?
Yeah, I
60
did.
degrees and up
Yep.
is shorts, yeah.
Shorts, yeah.
So, but yeah, it's spring's starting to veer its head over the mountains. So I'm finally able to go out and about again. Thankfully, somebody sent me my contacts, so that was
Only took
so
2
that was
minutes.
very helpful in my.
Hey, you boys, best keep sweating.
Yeah, but that was really helpful in my pursuit of getting outdoors. But yeah, I've been transitioning between indoors and outdoors. My girlfriend and I were able to go out together recently, so that was a great ride together. But yeah, been getting out as much as I can with my school schedule. So
Nice. If anybody cares, I got 5 rides in this week, and I did a fitness test on Sunday, hence my coffee and comments. By the way, for those of you hi Diva, who don't understand where the coffee and comments come from, when I talk about that, check out our YouTube channel. This is something we do on every Sunday, and it's just kind of a fun little segment we do. And I did the first 2. Jackson took the reins for the second one. I took this one. No, third one. I took the fourth one. God, numbers are hard. And I'm just saying that, the gauntlet is dropped should anybody want to. But I took a fitness test through our friends at the Sufferfest on Sunday, and my FTP and my maximum aerobic something P, starts with a P, poop. My maximum aerobic poop are both up higher than they've been in a long while, so I'm really happy with that. I just got to get my power to weight down. And so
How do
I
you do that?
Well, you know what? I stopped the intermittent fast.
Ah.
I stopped the intermittent fast because I think, and what I've been reading, and people could probably, give me shit about it or tear me a new asshole about it. Rip me a new asshole. Sorry.
It's your saying. Get it right.
Apparently, yeah.
I think it happens organically with him. It's not
I'm making this up as I go.
Yeah.
This is all a dance.
His whole life.
And what was I saying? Oh, the intermittent fast. I think my body's starting to think it's like, okay, you're not eating, so hold on to it.
That is not a myth.
Yeah.
When dieting. So I think you would be better off waking up in the middle of the night and having a snack every 2 hours throughout the day.
This is from Captain Cheese Plate last night. The photo you sent me was food porn.
Not so much during the night, but snacks, 6 snacky type meals a day, I think are better for you than this long, drawn out.
And and the more I get into, especially as we hit spring and we hit longer miles, you're laughing at me.
I just the whole diet thing just cracks me up. It's like it always goes in the circles.
Yeah,
like, you watch
vicious cycle.
Oh, the big thing back in the 70s, you can watch Hell of the North. Those guys are eating steak and eggs and everything. By the time I started racing, it was all carbs. You needed carbs, we don't need fat. And now it's like, how about just a balance? Everybody goes.
I'm just trying to drop 15 pounds. That's all I'm
right
trying
outside.
To do. Yeah, well, I'm gonna. I swear to God, I'm going to. And that was one of my reasons for kind of cutting this intermittent fasting thing out. And by the way, I'm the kind of guy who doesn't really eat at breakfast. I always kind of wake up, I get my shit together. Usually around 10 o'clock, I eat a bar, like a Kind bar. I really like the Kind protein
you're
bars.
Not a breakfast guy, right?
Very, very light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, and then I'm now on to eating my regular meals. But I am going to continue. I'm going to calorie count. I'm going to do it. I'm going to just pay attention to things. I'm not going to, be super anal retentive about it. Tuesdays, as you guys can see,
beer days.
My beer days. Tuesdays are my beer days.
Yep.
And that's good. I'm going to, I'm just going to pay attention to that shit and see what happens. And my goal is to get down there, and I'm doing the power to weight ratio kind of things, looking at that. And, and of course I'm mildly obsessed and I'm looking at numbers and I'm going, okay, if I get to 195 and I have this FTP, I'm going to have that
fast.
And then I'll wonder why I'm getting dropped.
Yeah. Then right now, why you're getting dropped.
Yeah, because I'm out of shape. But
Paul, do you stay the same weight all year?
No, I'm like,
go up and down.
I'm about 5 pounds over.
Oh.
5.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. 5. I mean, just 5.
Yeah. I have to ask Nightwing. Are you up? I didn't even tell you about the challenge on Coffee and Comments, but I threw you under the proverbial bus, and the ramp challenge of the Half Monty with the Sufferfest. Are you up for it?
Yeah, I think it is a effort that takes a little bit of both mental and physical preparation. So, of course, this week I'm in school. So I think by the end of it, I'm going to attempt maybe this weekend, possibly next. I don't have a plan at the moment, but yeah, I'm up for it. I think, like I said, though, it takes a little bit of planning.
I got to tell you, the bar's set pretty damn low, dude. I got on the saddle because that's what my training program told me to do, and I just rode until I went, that hurts, and I got off. So and I don't. By the way, this test through the Sufferfest, who is not a paid endorser of the Packfiller, is really cool because you do this ramp test. You basically just ride 1 minute increments going up at 20 watts every increment, 20 plus watts every increment, and then you just go until you can't go anymore, and then they calibrate it all online for you, and then after that they figure out where your aerobic threshold is, and you ride for 20 minutes at a heart rate zone that they want you to ride at. So for me it was 140 to 145. And they tailor it to everybody. So my job was to ride in that 5-beat heart rate zone for 20 minutes straight. And it figures out your new FTP. your power ratios. And Paul's just looking at me like he's glazing over. He's just like, fuck, this is just ride harder.
Paul, do you have a power meter that you use?
I don't have any.
Yeah, it's between.
I don't either.
ears.
You and I are on the same page.
I don't have a power meter. I don't have a power meter. Everything I'm doing is off of my trainer. So.
Yeah, but that's got a power meter built in.
Has Jack, have you given any thoughts to your steed of choice for the season?
There aren't any. Nobody's making bikes anymore. So.
Oh, they're trying to.
They're trying to. Oh.
Yeah, it's just they can't get material.
Yeah. I'm certain to just race and ride on my 2010.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
What kind of bike is it again?
Marinoni.
No.
Aluminum.
It's
Campy 10-speed.
Yeah, Campy record carbon. Everything's carbon. It's relatively light.
Down tube shifters.
No.
Scott drop-in bars.
I mean, it was camp. I did mention Campy. It's Campy 10. So that's good stuff.
That's my new winter bike. Has that?
Yeah. I would like a plastic bike, but no one will sell me one.
Plastic. Has anybody signed up for any events yet? Has anybody done any of that? Ventured into those waters yet?
I thought about signing up for Vance Creek. It's closing fast.
May.
Yeah,
because there's a field limit.
Yeah, I should get just an entry anyway. I mean, without
because you're Jack.
Because I'm
just because that's your old baby.
It's my old baby. So.
Well, then you can kind of give them a nudge.
Yep, I will.
Right.
I will.
But I think that, maybe the Masters field will fill up, but I was thinking that I'm not too worried about it. I'm sure 1, 2 will fill up.
Yeah.
But my category, what I'll be racing, probably isn't going to.
You
maybe 30.
You
yeah, if it works out, yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
I'll go.
It's racing.
Yeah. And you guys can come stay at my place.
And we'll be training on a month ahead.
It's 20 miles from
your place?
From the resort.
Yep. We could ride to the start.
Yeah.
Oh, Jackson, see what you're missing out on?
Yep.
See?
I'll make you pancakes.
With bacon in them.
Yeah. Bacon. Whatever you want. Chocolate chips. And we have Wi-Fi, Jackson. We have Wi-Fi.
Bacon. The guys are trying to bring you to the dark side over here, Jackson.
Yeah.
Speaking of events, I hope this is okay to say it. It was kind of a downer that our local Twilight Series at Spokane Raceway Park has run into some logistical issues, and so they're unable to secure those dates so far. So let's cross our fingers and hope that they can do that.
Who's putting that on?
People.
How did you know that they're having problems?
Because I'm on their email list.
And you don't even look at who sent you.
I read emails.
People.
I'm not looking at fucking names. I could tell you the name, but I don't want to throw them under the bus, probably.
Okay.
Witness protection.
I will tell you this, that I had begun the process of securing the venue for the Packfiller Summer Series and in June and July, and I'm going with Thursdays because that's where our first year is going to be, Thursdays, because I don't want to insult my friends over at the Wednesday night series because they're good people. So if you're a Club Packfiller member, you get huge discounts, if not free entry altogether. That is going to be 8 races at $20 a piece. You do the math. What does it cost for a year of Club Packfiller? Holy shit, that's a bargain! There you go. So next thing, I need to ask you guys, the coffee and comic polls. I have a feeling you
I saw them.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
I thought you guys were going full Karsten here.
Instagram. No, I saw the fenders.
Okay, that's the first poll, and I want your guys' input on that. And we know probably where we're all going to lie on the spectrum, but the listener might not know where we are going to lie on
I've been thinking venture to guess on me.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You just need
it's the excellent.
You boys,
do you have a second? Do you have a second bike?
The more sweat, the better, boys.
You don't have a second bike.
I'm a minimalist.
I am the minimalist.
No.
I only had one bike, and now I have two. I'm building I'm not going to ever catch Pat, but.
I have no comment to that. Gentlemen, you're the first question, I think. Yeah, the first question on Coffee and Comments this weekend was in round of fenders, and I don't know what I just said there. In terms of fenders, winter bike fenders. Jack, I talked to you and
Preaching it.
you know what? And then I saw Matt Stevens riding some, and I just went, "Holy shit, that makes sense."
I live in England.
Yeah, the West Side is like
Here we
England.
don't.
So
You don't ride until May.
before
Because of ice.
So not no
Fenders aren't going to help
No,
me.
you need spikes.
and the wheels are coming off. Talk to me about fenders. I want to ask Jackson first because I have a feeling he's the one who won't
Yeah.
who can shut the
And
fuck up.
he's was that a hint?
Yeah.
He's lived on both sides of the
He has.
the coastal and the
You're right. Oh my God,
Yep.
you have Jackson. You're bringing
mesh
the
really.
coasts
Yep.
together,
Yep.
even though there's only one coast.
I'm completely cultured in American geography at this
You
point.
are.
I know everything.
You know what they say when you graduate college?
That you're the smartest.
You're the
That-
smartest you're ever going to be
Yep.
in
What's
terms of
tough?
general knowledge.
Huh?
If you don't work at all, then you can't be the smartest that you've ever been.
So tell me your view on fenders and why. I want a yes, no, or hell no on fenders and why.
Hell yes.
Oh!
It's because he's riding in the rain.
If I all the time could buy them with the world's money that I wish I had, then I would. I think if you want to ride outside and stay dry in the winter in whether cold areas or wet areas, then I think I think they're worth it. I think that they also help keep your bike clean and you clean as well. So when you get home, you don't have to spray everything down, especially for somebody like me who lives in an apartment. I don't have a hose to go hose my bike down, or I don't have a place where I can really wash my bike. So having that availability of fenders is something that I would really enjoy, and it will be a March purchase for me.
Are you going to do it?
I think so. There's a local bike shop
Yeah.
somewhere nearby me that has quite a few, but I think I'm going to put them on my gravel bike because I want to be able to ride off-road and stay
Not
somewhat
money.
clean, because every time I go out on my gravel bike, I can't come in the house without getting everything dirty, and so
Yeah.
yeah.
Why don't you go to the other guys?
Okay, I'll go to Jack.
Wait, no, because I'm more on his side. You need
Should
to
we
go alternate.
should we lob to the other side
And
of the
you're
court?
like the deal breaker or the.
I'm the deal
tiebreaker.
breaker?
You're the tiebreaker.
How?
It wouldn't.
I don't know.
Well,
Because I'm already
It's only
outnumbered.
4.
No, no.
yeah, that's
I
true.
might surprise
He's
you.
wishy-washy
I
on
might
this
surprise
one.
you. I
Yeah.
might surprise you.
So I say no. Because, Jack, why do you, over there
Wait, no,
on
it's-
the West
it's not
Coast,
my turn.
why do you choose to you made a comment.
Okay.
Why do you use fenders? It's not so much for you, but
Oh, it's courteous to the fellows, the people you ride with. So
you didn't say guys. You said fellows, and then you go like, fuck.
So riding alone, you stay clean. You can go longer because you're drier, you're warmer, and if you are riding with people, have you ever ridden behind anybody in the rain without fenders?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you're getting.
I made a joke once upon a time that people should have
I knew
flavored tires.
that.
People should have flavored tires,
Yeah.
so you could
So-
at least have a
I mean,
nice
that was-
strawberry taste from
Yeah.
their wheels.
That was satire, but
That was that bad satire.
okay. But the point is how did it become my turn?
I don't know.
I threw it.
You
'cause
did.
That's the way I
He
wanted
just,
it to go.
Paul just went bing. He just lobbed it back like a Wimbledon
Yeah.
volley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just a chip
Finish
shot.
up. You just
Well,
finished up.
I don't. For the few times that we have around here, we don't need it.
Yeah.
We really don't. And if somebody doesn't want to be on my wheel because I'm shooting out mud, then get off my wheel.
You're not going fast enough.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so and Belgians, they don't have fenders.
Oh.
There we go.
You just made Jackson's gooders come off his face.
You see that?
He's
It's
gonna
like,
Google
no way.
pictures of Belgians with fenders.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, the thing about cycling for me is all about the experience, whether it's good, bad, or ugly.
That's why your hands are broken.
Yeah. And but the whole idea, when you get the grit and you got the little mucus, it's called Belgian toothpaste.
But
and it's awesome.
Your training
grind it in there.
Your training rides should not be this life-changing experience. Every training ride. That's a race.
I don't.
You can't go out the next day if you're just shattered, and you're
No,
looking
that's
for that
that's
shattered
when you want to go
experience.
back out. Yes. That's
masochist.
yeah.
Chez Dubé. Shattered. So I believe we have.
Wait, I didn't get to go.
You did.
No, he made me go.
Okay.
Can I finish?
What's a counterpoint?
Finish. Okay. So I
haven't even got to the fucking news yet.
Oh my god. If you only have, and that's why I asked you if you have one bike. If you
I'm
only
not
have
gonna
one
get to the
bike,
news. Fuck the
I
news.
don't know. You can do a click on or something, but I think the key, and I don't know how you've done it all these years, is having two bikes. Have a comfortable bike you put
He's done
million
it.
miles.
And he has
had it.
He has.
Okay, a million miles on with that. The fenders never come off. There's lights. There's it's just set up with everything. Justin,
Yeah.
I mean, just but it's just something similar, but where you are just so comfortable that it's never. You never look outside and go, fuck, I don't want to go outside and ride. You're like, well, I'll get wet for 3 or 4 hours, but my ass will be dry and
What? No, you're fine.
It's
close enough to
but the couple bikes, it's really unrealistic to have one bike in, the west side.
That's true.
And if you're here and you're waiting for nice weather, then you cross train or you ride the Wahoo and stay indoors. But if you can get out on certain days that are like slushy but not icy, I don't think I'd do it. And it wears and tears on your race bike. That was my other thing, is like my race bike, I don't want to destroy in the mucky muck. I want to keep it nice, and clean. So
I'm not going to.
I have to confess. I have to confess. My race bike.
I could have gone and taken a shit.
Remember
how long you guys?
I left the mud on it from our January ride.
Over a year.
Over a year.
See, that's
cleaned. I threw it on the rack the other day and
I want
cleaned it up.
I want the elephant back.
No, that's clean. That's actually I hosed that one down.
Okay.
Hose the elephant down.
Do you?
Yep.
Are you going to weigh in on this?
I am going to weigh in
All
on
right.
this. I am. I and you're going to find this interesting, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of on the fence between the two.
I knew you would be.
I am. I'm never 100%. Okay, I'm going to reveal something to you guys. It's story time with Mr.
Coming out of the closet.
I'm gonna tell you guys that I, as a little kid, had little Tonka trucks and things like that. Okay, and I remember one day in particular when I was a little kid, and my friends were hooking their Tonka trucks. They were tying a rope to it and tying it to the back of their bikes, and they're BMX bikes, and they're flying all around the neighborhood, destroying these Tonka trucks, and they were having so much fun. And they asked me why I wasn't doing it, because I think my inanimate objects have a heart. They have a soul.
Mm-hmm.
They get sad when they're dirty or destroyed. Go ahead and laugh, motherfuckers. But I got to tell you, I don't want to treat a bike as just a bike to get icky and put away wet and treat badly. Okay, so there's that being said. The fenders, I'm a fan of because I don't want to get my ass wet. I love riding. I would love to ride behind somebody who had them on because I wouldn't get my face wet. I would love to go out and ride longer when I go out and ride. Okay, I'm throwing all the equations out here. That being said, I think they look doofy as fuck. I think they look stupid. But I don't mind necessarily how they look on my current bike. I have them on an old Steel Harry Gary, and I think they look all right.
Pretty sexy.
No, they don't look sexy. They look kind of, they're like glasses on a pig. And so I'm using them out of necessity. I'm using them out of I would really like to go for a long ride Especially the 3 days we're going to do our little training camp. If it's raining like a motherfucker, I don't want to get soaked and depressed. I want to start getting some long miles out. And so there we go. Did that take too long? It did.
Ambiguous answer.
And I'm still waiting on responses.
Yeah.
I've been getting responses. I put a poll out there on Twitter. I think I put it in our Club Packfiller Facebook group and things like that to let me know what you guys think. The other one was, and we're 35 minutes into our podcast, and the other one was the bar tape dilemma. And this is where we start running into that whole Illuminati thing. And I still wish people didn't take the Illuminati so seriously, because Frank's a good guy, and I'm tired saying that. And we know X button. We know Paul's term. You sent me the perfect response. You sent me the concept, what you thought, the rules in terms of bar tape matching. I bought a roll of orange bar tape. If you've seen my bike, it is orange and black. And I bought orange bar tape, and I thought it'd be hilarious. And I'm calling it Bulger Victorious in tribute to Bahrain Victorious, because thanks, man. They all have orange bar tape, but I don't think they have orange saddles. Do saddles and bar tape need to match? And your thoughts on white versus black tape? Jackson's going first.
I think that this is my personal take on it all. I know that others will disagree. However, I think if how your bike looks makes you happy and makes you feel confident and comfortable.
Oh, that's such a fucking cop out.
No, it's not. It's not though, because if you feel good and confident on your bike, then who the hell cares? You know, I think if you want to have a red saddle and blue bar tape, then that's what you like. You know, and if it gets you out there, and if you're riding your bike, then that is awesome. That's my personal opinion, because if I think something looks cool, I'm gonna do it. That's how I've always been. So I think if with orange bar tape and a black saddle, all right, that's awesome. You know, it's what you like. I like it too. But if other people don't like it, then it is what it is.
I'm only laughing because I'm looking at Paul. His body language is speaking fucking encyclopedia volumes here.
No, I think
you guys are attacking me tonight.
No, I think it's okay. Everybody has their opinion, but if in doubt, black, and black.
Yeah, that's a good look. It is.
It never goes out.
It's a murdered out bike.
Yeah, but the thing, You can't go wrong with that. It doesn't. You don't have to clean it.
Murder of crows.
Murdered. Maybe it might be that. It may be
because black crows. Murder of crows.
I think it's more of a gangbanging thing.
Hey,
murdering out your car. It's all black crows.
Yes, I'm.
What? Wow.
Yeah. I said the black crows.
Says she talks to angels. Jackson heard a whole spew of nothing. So did our listeners.
Yeah.
Jack, where do you stand on bar tape?
So when I was a young lad, there was a pro cyclist named Carl Maxon, and I actually got to kind of hang out around him a teeny bit because he had a junior following.
Rode for Gianni Moda.
Yeah. And I the rule that I heard from him or his sidekick was dark colored bike, light colored bar tape. Light colored bike, like white bike, black bar tape. So it was a opposing colors. It was a contrast. Never mentioned saddle. I don't know that I've ever heard.
We had one choice back then.
Rule.
Black. Yeah, all saddles were.
No, we had some whites. I mean, I had a red Concord. I don't know if you guys ever. You rode on it.
Yes, I did.
You probably have that at your house.
That's I don't.
I think his ride made it more red.
I think he took it home.
Rectal bleeding.
May cause.
I have that.
I think when it comes down to it, I agree with Jackson. We're in this
honesty.
We're in this world where, and I think we've defined the problem going on right here. Is we're in a world where it's okay to do whatever the fuck you want. However, it's nice to sometimes know the tradition and not necessarily the rules, but the guidelines. Kind of like the Ten Commandments. They're not commandments; they're guidelines.
Yeah.
So it's
Suggestions.
they're suggestions.
The 10
It's nice to
suggestions.
know that. It's nice to know that technically, it'd be cool if your bars and your saddle matched, or if your bike was light, your bars were dark, and things like that. But it doesn't matter because we were all juniors once, and we had the multi-striped handlebar tape, the Bonotto.
Yeah,
God damn,
there's
this
been
is an old
trends.
man
There's
show.
been trends that go through the years where
Yeah.
you're following that. Hey, then this is the new tape that came out or whatever.
I bought the orange just simply because I thought it'd be funny, and it's a treat yourself
If
moment.
you do it, you haven't done it yet.
I haven't done it yet, and I said I was going to on Coffee and Comments, but I haven't done it yet. So, you guys should I even bother getting to the news?
Is it juicy stuff?
Well, I do want to touch base, and I'll do just the tip.
Ouch.
Let's the news headlines. If it were any other year, would you care? Okay, if you've been paying attention to the UAE tour, has anybody been paying attention
Yeah,
to the UAE
it was a great
tour?
stage today.
I got three
Yeah, it
people
was.
who all nodded.
I missed today, but
Tadej Pogacar extended his overall lead, outfoxing Adam Yates, who I can't believe I'm seeing in an Ineos kit. At the summit of Yefel Hafit after surviving string of blistering attacks, accelerations from the British climber. And I guess for those of you who've been keeping up with the UAE tour, I guess I don't probably need to provide you with all the details then. If you haven't been keeping up with the UAE tour, it's this ride, it's this race, and there's a fuck ton of sand blowing
I was
across the
going
road.
to say, what is the summit of a sand dune?
No.
Is there a mountain there?
Yeah.
Very small.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it was a beaut climb.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I missed today's stage. I didn't realize.
I haven't seen it yet either, to be honest.
United Arab Emirates.
Yeah, it was pretty good. There was Sepp Kuss showed his colors.
Yeah.
There's, the two winners, they had an advantage. I felt sorry for the guys there was like about 6 of them dragging. They had anchors called disc brakes.
Disc brakes.
The other two,
They're rubbing.
They
They're
had-
probably rubbing, huh?
Jackson's just like going, I need to be back at Spokane so I can just throw shit at these assholes.
so first and second place dueling it out.
They had rim brakes?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, both guys. Both
I'm
guys.
buying a rim brake brake.
Yeah.
Rim brake
Yep.
brake.
Well,
Yep.
that'd be
If
a
I
bad
can find
mistake.
one.
You'll be
It would be
changing.
a bad mistake to buy a
Yeah.
rim brake bike. I
Rim brake
believe
bike.
we said, yeah.
Yeah.
So, if there were any other year, would you guys be paying attention to this race?
Yes, I've watched it every year.
You have. Jackson
Anytime.
nodded. Jackson nodded. You
Oh, yeah,
would be
definitely.
doing it. Jack,
I
if it were any other year, you'd be
Yeah.
running.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I enjoyed, Carson made a comment on the echelon that was, I
Stage
actually
one.
showed my wife that,
Mhm.
like, this is
Yeah.
brutal. That must have been like 30 mile per hour winds or 40 mile per
Yeah,
hour winds.
everybody, when you think of crosswinds, everybody thinks when it's a direct, like 90 degree. It's the cross tailwinds that
Yeah.
kill you because they were averaging 62,
Yeah, they must have been
62
hauling
kilometers,
ass,
so
yeah.
about 38 miles an hour
Shit.
for 10 to 20 minutes.
yeah.
And, there's gatekeepers to the way the echelons work.
yep.
If you got shoved out, they didn't want you in there, you were going back to the next line.
Yeah.
It is-
Yeah.
Brutal.
It was cool.
So and I'm glad you guys brought this stuff up because there are questions I have that are stemming from this because I think if you want to be somebody who's kind of claiming to know what you're talking about, you got to watch these early races to get an idea of who's going well and
and
where
the new
we
kids.
Yeah, exactly. So stage one saw the continued mutation that is Mathieu van der Poel.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, until a staff member was diagnosed with COVID-19. Any thoughts on when this kid might show signs of humanity? Is
Of being human, you mean?
is he going to slow down? I mean, after Worlds, Jackson, jump into this. Holy shit!
Yeah, I think, as we're seeing, he's a phenomenal talent. He is someone who can miraculously turn from absolutely smashing the field in cyclocross worlds and turn around and turn it into form on the road, which is impressive in itself. I think that another talking point of the entire race was that De Koenig are here to race this season. Obviously, they're here to race every season, but
Yeah.
seeing them how they didn't have Sam Bennett obviously in the front, but they had Joao Almeida, and so they were really putting their eggs into that basket. But then they also were trying to attack off the front. They were trying to attack before the sprint could really come in, and which was, I think, a pretty honorable thing to do, and it made the race a little bit spicier. But yeah, he's got a. I'll tell you what, Vanderpool has a sprint on him.
Oh my God!
It rivals a lot of the top sprinters. So it's going to be interesting to see where this early season form takes him in terms of the tour and later on in the Olympics. So I'm excited to see where it brings him.
I hope it doesn't screw up anything in terms of like Omloop this weekend with him and with COVID and that the team is dealing with that right now. Oh God, please don't fuck this up for him. Because the guy's just hauling ass. Can he maintain? Yeah, I guess you addressed the ability to maintain that. And no, he's not on the start list at Omloop.
I didn't think he was
right now. He was supposed to, but right now he's not on it.
He was supposed to. Oh, because how
They're
could he?
still
Because he was
waiting.
in the tour. He would have been in the UAE tour. He never was.
Oh,
You can't leave a race. He would be in the middle
look at
of
me
the UAE.
pretending I know what I'm talking about.
So either that, but he still could be a potential slide in now since he was at home.
How about the return of Chris Froome? 84th in the opening stage. Jax is shaking his head. 83rd in the stage 2 time trial. He admits there is a good deal of work to do. I saw a quote somewhere saying he's taking a page out of Tom Brady's book, where it's using mental over, the mental status versus, not versus. I don't want to bust his balls because this guy is he's going to be in the Hall of Fame of cycling. This guy's unbelievable what he's done in his career. But does anybody have any thoughts of what we're going to see, if anything, from Chris Froome? I keep bringing it up in the show. Maybe it's because I just have this childhood hope that, I don't know if I like him. I don't know if I'm rooting for him, but maybe I am. The old guy who's still trying to make something happen and get that 5th tour.
I don't think anybody wants to see anybody, fall from grace like that. I mean, a crash, it'd be one thing if he was, said he never doped and won 7 tours and then finally had to confess. That's
that would suck.
But to end your career,
who the fuck would do that?
Yeah, can you imagine? So, to me, it's sad, but to me, I thought he was on the way out myself when I made the prediction that he wouldn't win another tour the first time I was on your podcast.
First time?
Mm-hmm. When we were down at River City Brewing.
Holy
we did a
fuck.
lot. And I said that back then? I said that back then.
We're going to have
check
to go to the tape on that one.
Yeah,
We're going to have
check the tapes.
Yeah,
and I said, no, he won't win another tour.
Wow.
Yeah, he's stuck at 4, so... But I never would guess that he's going to crash.
Yeah.
And screw. I didn't say that. Screw his life up.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Put a hex on him.
I think he's got a lot of knowledge that he could bring to.
Yeah.
To Israel nation.
Yep.
So
Israel
the Jewish team.
Startup.
Yep.
Yeah.
The team of the Jews. What'd you call them?
I didn't call
You
them.
have a new name.
My wife called them. I can't remember what she called them.
I know. I'm trying to think.
I can't remember now. Jackson, you remember what your mother called them?
I don't.
It wasn't anti-Semitic. It was.
Yeah. You have some comments on Chris Froome?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Good dodge. Nice dodge.
Yeah.
I'll look
looking like a true social media manager.
Yeah.
But no, I think that he is obviously a legend of the sport and will always be remembered for the amazing performances he's put in throughout his career. But I think, first of all, the first day was an unfortunate happening. Obviously, yes, there is a little bit of you need to keep your head up if the winds are going to be that quick, but the first day was kind of an anomaly in terms of the weather conditions. Second day, time trial, I was expecting him to do better than he did. Obviously, he's known for really being able to bring the big guns when it comes to that type of race. Mind you, Filippo Ganna is unstoppable when it comes to time trialing at the moment. But today, when I saw him climb, the commentators were saying he's not going into the red. He's riding within his own right at this point. So I think he I think he well knows where he is at this part of the season, and part of me thinks that when he came into this race, he wasn't expecting to win it, especially with the likes of Pogacar, who is, in my opinion, going to be the next Chris Froome. But and Adam Yates and Almeida, they're so much younger, and unfortunately they have a team that they can help build form around. So I think that maybe there could be one more race for him to win eventually, but at the moment I'm seeing Mike Woods being more of the contender for that team.
Shit, that's well said. I got nothing after that. I mean, nice job, man. My other two news stories were, and we're so behind schedule. So I gotta just say, in corporate domination news, have you guys heard about SRAM buying out Time Pedals?
Yep.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Paul did. I do want to ask, when was the last time anybody rode Time Pedals? Jackson, you don't obviously have to answer.
He doesn't even know what they are.
Paul Maine, did you ever ride Time Pedals?
No, I've always been.
Jack Broadhead, did you ever ride Time Pedals?
Pairs.
I did too.
I rode.
You loved them too, I bet.
I really did like them.
Like most people did.
I did too.
Yeah. Light ones. Their magnesiums were freaking light for quite a large platform. You know, we've gone big platform, small to really small to way back to, but I liked the shoes too. So I rode a couple different.
I rode the
pairs
clown
of
shoes. I called them
clown shoes.
white shoes,
White with
green and red.
Yeah,
white, green, and red. It was just.
That's like the Italian colors.
Look at me.
Oh.
Not that much white. It was just they were dorky looking shoes, and I loved them.
I wear
they
all
looked
white
so cool
shoes right
because
now.
they were dorky.
Is that bad?
No, I'm not. You're missing the point.
Anyway, I liked them.
I did too. I rode them quite a bit, and they were great. And so, what does this say about SRAM's?
Well, they bought PowerTap. PowerTap had those pedals.
So
the thing is that that's kind of like going away, but they have that technology and stuff. That Time is a little bit more, both on mountain bike, and you have all kinds of different things. So Time is the potential to putting that strength.
Actually, I really liked my Time mountain bike pedals.
Jackson's
For cross and
leaning
mountain bike.
towards the camera. It's killing him that he can't
Okay,
speak.
go ahead.
No.
Power pedals, right?
Power pedals.
Power meter based pedals is what they're thinking.
So obviously Garmin's in the game there. Shimano doesn't do that, but they do have their own power meter. But I think it's a big move in terms of SRAM wanting to equal their power with Shimano.
Yeah.
Because Shimano does everything, and I think SRAM's looking over across the pond at Shimano and going, we need to be there. And it's a big move, and I think it's a great idea to do power meter pedals. It's a great idea.
That's just a speculation, though.
I think it's, but can you agree that it's probably on the horizon?
I would think that, because that. I mean,
Would
back
you
in the
speculate?
I don't know if I even go that. Nowadays, you can't.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Does SRAM do fishing poles? I mean, is that
No,
are they going to take over?
Who knows? They might just say, you know what, we want to bury everything you do.
I was just connecting the dots and throwing it out there for this kind of thing.
Everything
for cycling.
Everything that guy did, I want it gone.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry, that was political.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, we got to get to actual bike races. And I don't mean that to bash the bike race that is happening right now. We got. What do you call it? A semi-classic?
Yeah, it's beginning of the Cobblestone Classics, the Spring Classics.
Omloop het nieuwsblad. And I said that without stumbling. So, first off, who's watching it? Okay, everybody says
as soon as it comes on.
You're going to be live.
I might be. Yeah, oh yeah.
Jackson, are you watching it live? No, probably not. Where is everybody watching it? What do you?
My house, Flow Bikes.
No, your Flow Bikes. Yeah,
So
Jackson.
So you're like a Flow Bikes and you're a GCN now.
No,
I have both. I have all.
Okay.
Oh,
I was getting that.
Sorry, Jackson, I cut you off.
Yeah,
Young
sorry,
Padawan,
Jackson.
you don't understand the problem.
And Jackson
is
is not a peacock.
You
I
just
know
keep,
that too
okay.
from listening.
Jackson is not a peacock, but the problem is we've got all these platforms with all these different races. GCN is this shining beacon on the hill that provides us with could potentially be an oasis for all these races to happen. However, so many people own so many different rights to so many different events. It's just you can't guarantee you're going to get an event on one particular platform. So you spend a fucking fortune on all of these different platforms, and it just becomes lunacy. I know that Europe is not going to get Kern to Brussels Kern because GCN didn't secure the rights.
No, they did. No,
I think Eurosport. No,
Yeah.
I thought it was Kern.
No, they have Kerner. They'll do Kerner. They don't have Omloop.
Oh, okay. So they don't get to see that at all. They're stuck with UAE Tour highlights.
Yeah.
See, that's brutal. That's
so,
brutal.
So we don't have the right. I mean, GCN Plus doesn't have it in the U.S.
Yeah.
But they have Kerner's Brussels Kerner. We'll be able to watch that the following day. But we'll have to use Flow Bikes to watch Omloop.
Jesus Christ.
So fingers crossed that GCN Plus is able to buy all bike races. And I would pay $200 a year for that package.
I would get to that point where I would.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely, I would too. So I guess Jackson, I sent you the start list, correct?
Yep, I got it.
Okay. So what we're trying to do is actually, Paul, I was going to ask you any thoughts on this race as opposed to a usual Belgian classic. What separates this from some of the others?
Well, it's the very beginning. So the biggest thing is no one for the last 30 years plus has won that race, has never followed up with Flanders that next, on the same year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're peaking there, probably that's maybe what it is. So that's just kind of one of those things. But hopefully this year, I'd like to see it broken, whoever did it, because that's one of those things like when the Cubs never won the, who I'm talking about, Spaceball. All right.
Yeah. I know
the
that. The stickball.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like to see those things broken. But they use majority of the Tour of Flanders course. They go up to the Cap Le Mur, the very famous Cap Le Mur. That's the biggest climb, the decisive climb. So
here we go. I would, as we do with all these events, at least the ones we cover on the show, each of us gets to pick 3 riders. Paul's got his yellow little post-it note all ready to rock. Jack needs to start scrambling for the last minute. His last notes. But what we're doing here is we're going to all pick 3 riders, and it doesn't matter the order. You're just picking those 3 riders. You need a pen, Jack?
Are you writing this down?
I
mean,
Yeah. So here's the deal, though. I want to offer this up to the listener. I want to let them know that if anybody gets all 3, if anybody in our listening audience happens to pick the top 3, you know what? I should lighten that up. Should I say 2 of the riders in the top 3? I should lighten that up. Okay, if you pick 2 riders that happen to land in the top 3, you're going to be sent personally by me a pound.
Paris, France.
Shut up. Yeah, no. Don't listen to that part and don't edit it out. A pound of the Packfiller blend coffee from our newest sponsor, the official pre of the Packfiller Gemelli coffee. I talked about that a little bit on the. I keep going back to coffee and comments. I talk about how cycling is important with pre and post. Guess what? We found our pre, and it is a custom blend for us. So if you get 2 of the top 3 riders in Omloop, or pretty much any race this entire season, I will send you a pound. Not a pound. I think it's a 12-ounce bag. But sorry, you're going to miss out on 4 ounces. But I will send you that. Submit your picks via tweet or on the Club Packfiller Facebook page. If you're a member of Club Packfiller, you know what that means. Be sure to use the hashtag. This is for the Twitter people. Use the hashtags. The 3 hashtags. It has got to be Packfiller, Omloop, and Gemelli Coffee. And when I say Gemelli, I'm going to spell it out for you because I know it sounds weird. Gemelli. Gemelli, as in Gemelli. Gemelli Coffee. You include those three tweets. I'm giving Jack time to pick his picks. That's why I'm taking so long to say this. But we will send you coffee. Winners are going to be announced next week, if there are any, and that goes throughout any of the races throughout the season this year. You get 2 of the top podium finishers. Coffee's coming to you. All right. should we start? Who should we start with for our picks? Paul's got his little notepad ready to rock. So, Paul, who are you thinking?
This might come to a surprise for most people, but
What?
Yep. I picked all Belgians.
Whoa!
Yeah, so I always put Sepp Van Marken in there.
You do.
Yes.
You've been loyal to
He
him
always-
for so long.
He won it in 2012. There's only 3 times since then he hasn't been in the top 5. So he's
Shit.
good. I put Lampard in there, and then also Oliver
Lampard.
Nason. Yeah.
Okay, you guys got to write this shit down because I'm
I've
too
got
busy
it in my
picking
head
own picks.
because I always,
Okay.
it's like betting on horses for me. I'm watching the
Knows
whole race.
about this.
So, for anybody who doesn't know, Stuyven won last year. Mads Pedersen. Those are the 2 that were kind of hard.
Yeah.
I almost picked Mads in there in that group, but it's supposed to be 53 degrees with 5 to 10 mile an hour north to northeast winds, so it's not to his favor.
Did you hear him calling the
That's
weather?
how- Yeah.
Right.
Calling the fucking
He's got AccuWeather for
Right.
Yeah.
Right, Belgium.
That's pretty good. Jackson Bulger, you got your 3 picks? Okay, no, Paul, tell me your
did
Paul,
about
sorry,
At
Paul, tell me.
12:30 today.
Jackson, I'm interrupting you. Paul, tell me your 3 picks again.
Van Marken,
Vama
Lampard,
Lampard. And
Oliver Nason, not his brother.
N-A-S-S-K. Sorry, Jackson. Please continue.
I'm going to disagree with what Paul pretty much just said.
Every
I
platform.
think that Mads won a little thing we call the World Champions in a pretty damn bad weather day. Obviously different conditions, but I'm going to pick him for one of mine. My next pick, and possibly one of my rising favorite riders, Tom Pidcock.
Oh.
He's young. He's got the same type of form that Wout and Vanderpool do. So
That's true. That's a good choice. That's a good
cyclocross
choice.
riders can win everything nowadays.
Yeah.
And my last rider is somebody who I also talk about all the damn time. Is from seeing him in the Tour de La Provence.
Peter Sagan's out there.
Philippe, he is
He's
flying right now.
Yeah.
So I think this is a race that could suit him pretty well, and he seems as if he has gone on the record to say that he's eyeing these classics. So this is a good lead up for him, and I think he can. I think he can take it.
Those are good choices. Jack, do you want to go or should I go?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm looking for a third. Go for it.
I'm feeling a little frisky.
Frisky.
I'm feeling a little frisky. My first choice is going to be from De Koenig Quickstep, but it is not Julian Alaphilippe.
Helping me cheat.
Okay. I'm going with Casper Asgreen. I'm going with Casper on this one. I've been watching him ride, and the guy's got some speed, and I love saying Asgreen. Next one, I'm going old school, and I'm going to be buried because I'm going old school. I'm going with Lotto Soudal's Philippe Gilbert.
That's what I.
And my third, what? Oh no, I thought you were calling attention there, Jack. My third pick. Where is it on my stack? Oh yes, I'm going even older school. And from UAE Team Emirates, I want Alexander Kristoff to go with one more, just something more to kind of go off and see. I've been watching him, and he's been doing okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is a course that could do well. I mean,
Yeah.
he's won Flanders,
Yeah.
and he won Gent-Wevelgem,
I don't see him with a monument in him anymore, but this might be something that could get him there. Yeah. So, Jack, who
All
did
right.
Paul? I mean, you pick.
No, actually, he did help me with the number 3, the Asgreen.
Casper?
So I got him for number 3. But so if Matthew Van Der Poel shows up, he's the winner. But if he doesn't, he's my number 4 guy.
But that doesn't count.
So Alaphilippe,
You're making this
Philippe
difficult.
Gilbert, and Asgreen. Philippe
Who was your second? Gilbert.
Gilbert.
Okay.
And then I agree with
Asgreen.
you. And Asgreen. And Paul helped me with Asgreen. But Matthew gets the win if he shows up.
If
If he
won't.
makes it.
you got to pick him. If you
Well, no.
if you want
He's
him
not
to be
on the
one of your
list.
three,
He's not
pick
on
him.
the-
If you want to pick him, make him one of your
I
three
need
right now.
4. I need a handicap.
No, that's not gonna happen, Chief. It's not gonna happen.
Okay.
All right. You guys, you want to know the scary thing?
We're under an hour.
No, we're an hour and 5 minutes in,
Oh, wow.
and I haven't even got to the topic of the show. And I do want, and I'm not going to get to the topic of the show
Bicycles.
because I want to. No, well, I want to save this topic because it's a topic that I think is poignant. It's important enough, and it is at times almost serious enough. I know, right? Serious. So we're going to hold off on my topic. Should I mention it? For next
Do you
week,
want
so
to?
people need to
pop?
think about
Do you
it?
like pop quizzes? You're a teacher. Do you like
Yeah.
pop quizzing your kids,
Not
or
so
do you
much.
like?
No,
Alright.
I don't believe in pop quizzes.
Okay, then don't fucking give us a pop quiz. Then tell us what the topic is.
For next week?
Yeah.
Penny farthing the world.
No,
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
No,
That's
I
scary.
actually
Scary
want
as shit,
to.
man.
I do want to talk at length about exercise addiction.
Oh.
About people who have reached the point of addiction levels. And now, mind you, I want to make it fun and funny, but I also want to talk about the seriousness of it. So, so that's what we're going to touch base on next week. And I've got documentation, I've got all this stuff. I got
next
papers
week.
and
That's next
stuff.
week.
Yeah, I guess we're going to
Roger
talk about
has a
that next
problem
week.
with that.
Whoa, drink,
well,
everybody.
Drink,
Well, Roger's really
We've been
fast.
dry for a while on the Roger thing. Whoops.
Fuck. Jackson's slamming back a Coke. So in the meantime, we cannot finish without addressing the most important elephant in the room. Hey, this segment's brought to you by our friends at Mojo Cyclery, Spokane's gravel source, motherfuckers. I do want to mention that they also do stock road and mountain bikes and parts, and their service is second to none. If you are a Club Packfiller and member, you can get a 15% discount on everything bikes and trainers because they don't discount bikes and trainers because they don't make any money on them. So buy a bike from them, you guys, and you might want to walk out. You might walk out with a brand new custom in-house sticker. I'm shitting you. I'm not shitting you. I'm not shitting you. Sorry. Wow, that beer is delicious. It's just to separate you from the rest. Look for our upcoming gravel podcast featuring our friends from the Mojo crew. Thanks to those guys. Great bike shop. And hopefully everybody has their local bike shop. So I'm going to skip through all that kind of stuff, and we're going to get to the elephant in the room. Watch this with Professor Paul.
Oh. Okay.
That's
Which is very, very, very important because sometimes we get to the point where we run out of time
In
for
life.
the watch this
Yeah,
with
for the-
Professor
for the-
Paul.
for the-
And
Is it
week.
that like important in the show?
no,
you think?
the
definitely is.
No, the
You
elephant.
guys go, hey, what was our homework?
That's the elephant I want to address.
Okay.
The elephant I want to address is the fact that all of us are so goddamn lazy that sometimes we aren't
busy.
watching.
Or maybe it's my choices.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Grey's Anatomy or no. just
Paul,
kidding.
you are a retro curmudgeon, and people love you for that on this podcast. And I'm not. I'm this is from actual statistical
It's from
numbers.
his heart.
It is. No, it's from statistical.
Have another drink.
Shit,
Roger.
numbers. You're right. It's from actual numbers, and whenever I bring up certain things about you, that they come up, and this most recent one was when I posted the most recent video clips. Somebody went, "Holy shit! It's from the Century." So we had 2 homework assignments this week.
From the Century.
Yes, from
Yeah.
this century, both from this century,
Can we try it?
and
Sorry
they
about the
were
glass.
both within a specific series of the same race, and we all know your obsession with Paris-Roubaix.
Yes, and the classics.
Yeah.
And the classics.
But these were both Paris-Roubaix focused.
No. You didn't watch the first
Oh,
one.
you're right.
Flanders,
You're sorry.
yeah.
It was Flanders and then Roubaix.
Somebody
See, I
didn't do
watched
his
it.
homework.
Well, I did. It's just the first one was leading to Paris-Roubaix.
Yeah.
And that we were dealing with
And
Sabella.
I did. Anybody wants to know that I prefaced why? I mean, kind of set things up last week. So if you didn't listen to that podcast, Diva, you can.
He's not listening this week either.
So, but you can see that there was a collaboration at this point between 2 teams,
Yeah.
and I wanted to focus on the
Rabobank.
team. No, Rabobank. No, this you didn't do your
Jeez.
homework.
I
you?
did.
Did you do your
They
homework?
rode the course together on Roubaix.
Yeah.
I just get it. I got a
I
C
see.
on
I
this. Jeez.
Anyway, go ahead.
No, I just kind of was this week's selections. You had, I was going to ask, you had a very specific motive behind them, and we had touched base on the fact that I don't want to bash the team by saying, first of all, they're heavily stacked,
You're loaded.
yet undermanaged.
What year is that? Oh, you can't say that about
2011.
Oh, 2011.
2011.
Okay.
Yeah,
God, that's a long time ago. Fuck.
yeah.
It didn't seem like it.
Group thoughts on what you experienced before we get Paul's intent on why choosing them. Jackson, were you able to catch up and catch the videos?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thoughts on them?
I think my first thought was Garmin Cervelo walked so EF Education First could run.
Mm-hmm.
I think
God, God damn, you're good at this.
like it's
It's like he's in school.
it's the social
learning
media
and stuff.
I'm telling you what.
Learned.
Shit. Yeah.
You get an A.
But in all honesty, I liked it. I thought it was really interesting. I I like to see the ins and outs when it comes to a world tour level team. It did very much remind me of a more somber EF gone racing. But I really enjoyed it, and it was interesting to see a team not always win, and to see a team have to work for what they produce. And I really liked that about that.
Unlike the Eddie Merckx videos we've been watching, where he didn't have to do he just won everything.
He just rode off the front.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, we did.
Totally the
You're
opposite.
right.
Yeah.
We saw, although you can't blame Multaney for, you can't say they didn't do any type of team effort.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, lots of team effort. Yeah.
Yeah. What I was getting out of it was it almost like a conflict. I mean, just watching these guys and the reality nature of it. And this is why I guess I love documentaries, is that the behind the scenes where somebody will look at you and they'll just go, we fucking suck today. You know, and hearing them being able to be so blunt about it, just going like everything went to shit. And that dilemma of the Van Summeren, his rear tire's going flat. Holy shit! What are we gonna do?
Tours in the brake.
Tours in the brake.
In the follow. Yeah.
And
right
you know,
behind-
Chase group.
Chase group.
And
Yeah,
you know, Tor is just going, I want to put this Swiss asshole out of people's memories, you know, because he's the poo-poo poulidois of those years, you know, dealing with such a great rider as Cancellara.
Yeah.
And you know, he probably was just chomping at the bit
He
to be
didn't even
able
make
to
the
go.
podium though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. So I mean, that seeing that inter-team strife was something that I enjoyed. I kept looking for the Vaughters comment.
Yeah, it wasn't in there. That's in this
it wasn't
book.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll find out later. If you
Which
read
I
his
was
book.
looking.
So-
Yeah, I was going. Do they get to the car? Do they get to the car? But you know, if that scene was in, we mentioned this in the last show, didn't we? That Vaughters was like, fuck.
Yeah, he didn't know he had
Yeah.
Peter Van Petergem,
Yeah.
who's a great classic. He's won Flanders twice, and he also won Paris-Roubaix and Flanders in the same year. Doubled. He had him for this particular reason.
Yeah.
When he was in the car, Peter Van Petergem couldn't give him an answer. He didn't even say a word. Like, I'm not sure. He just kind of like.
Yeah.
So
froze.
Vaughters had to make the choice whether to have Thor Hushoff chase, help Cancellara chase down, because they're getting the information that, hey, I got a slow tire,
Right.
Yeah.
slowly.
right. So they know
Yeah.
know more than
They-
Cancellara's team. Track didn't
know. Yeah.
unless they.
And not only that, you've got somebody who, I think finances has a lot to deal with it, and I think if
you
you
think.
Yeah, huge, because when they collaborated, Thor Hushoff won the world championship with under Cervelo. The next year, they converged. They had already drawn the deal on ink to converge the teams, but it's tradition that if you get your contract, you get a bump if you become world champion because you bring in more money.
Yeah.
And Vaughters had no money to give. And he went to his
shit.
people. He was like, you know, Tor says, "World champion, can you up my contract? It's more money."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Man, can't get blood out of a turnip." And he was pissed. And from that point on, there was like a division in that team. And if you look at the faces,
Heinrich Hausler,
yeah, and Roger Hammond and
Andreas.
Yeah, Andreas Clare was another one, but he ends up staying with EF. He's the director. I call him GPS because he knows the classics like the back of his head. So, and if you watch, I'll give suggestions at the end of the classics to watch.
Okay.
A couple, in fact, after the Paris-Roubaix that are behind the scenes of all the Tour of Flanders. From like Sagan's win, they've been doing this lately. So you see the TV production, you see directors in cars, a little bit of the race. To me, it's enjoyable. So, but anyway,
I gotta intervene here. I gotta talk to the listener, individual here. I get several people saying the show talks about some things and riders and names I might not understand. And I don't want to sound condescending. Paul is handing you very, very, very short YouTube videos to get you up to speed about the beauty of everything we're talking about. If you're following along an hour and 15 minutes into a podcast, you obviously give a shit. And if there's some stuff that you're going, what are they talking about? Why does Paul keep showing these old movies and all this kind of stuff? This is a crash course on just a sample of some of the fun and the passion and may I say next week's topic, the addiction that bike racing is. And I think this is it. And if you just have a little time out of your day, you're online already. Click on a YouTube video and just watch these 9-minute top videos and just get an experience about what we're talking about. I'm going to step off my soapbox for a second.
You were on there earlier too.
Yeah, you're going to tear me a new asshole.
What was that other thing?
But I just think this is so cool, and I don't think I really watched like Stars and Water Carriers. I don't think I really watched Sunday in Hell. Why? Because first time I saw them, I was probably 15, 16 years old, and I was like, oh, cool. Now I'm old, and I reminisce, and or Jackson. It's interesting. I'd love to get your perspective on these video clips, especially because they're old and they don't involve Peter Sagan.
the next one will get newer.
Yeah,
well, this one was like,
Jay, how are you reacting to these things, and what are your thoughts on these things as they come across?
So while yes, I am sort of touted to be kind of this, and it's even in my Instagram bio. I'm the youngin on or the youngster on the Packfiller podcast. However, I think with age for me also comes I have a true passion for this sport, and I think no matter the era, no matter the age, I think it's extremely fascinating to watch how things are and how things progress. That's why, as I always say, I am fascinated with human innovation and human progression, because that is something that we get to witness forever. I am someone who wasn't alive at the time, but I still get to witness that, and I think it's a fascinating medium that we have, and I really do enjoy being able to watch these throughout the years.
Can I say something?
You can say something after I call out the fact that this is the best goddamn education I've ever
Given your son.
Because I've just reverted to crass swearing and fart jokes,
which are good.
It's you're bitter,
you're shallow,
jaded in your ears. But he's
fucking hey, that was good. Dude, I mean that genuinely. That was fucking poetry, and I'm wearing it down by swearing. Jack?
Oh, it's my turn now. So what Paul said, and actually what Jackson said, I've been like in and out of this sport 4 times in
'cause you're
30 years. 30 years.
Twice.
You don't need to bring that.
3 times a cyclist.
Yeah, exactly. So you catch this.
I love you.
Okay, so anyway,
I love you.
this is where it talks about us.
Anyway,
going
sorry, Jack.
unhinged. Anyway, so you talked about when you're a young teenager and you gain this passion. We're watching Greg LeMond win Tour de France, and we're through the different eras of cycling, even through the Lance Armstrong era, and as bad as it turned out, we had 7 years or 6, or when you started to figure it out,
Fucking great races
of where the America started to get on board, and you started to feel like, oh, I got like people actually understand what I do. But for the many years I go away and then I come back to cycling, it is such a powerful sport. I'd imagine there are people who are like so into hockey or so into something, and I'm not like talking golf or baseball, but where you've done it, where you actually feel where you feel the unique sport of cycling, and it kind of gets into your blood very much, and so you end up never not being a cyclist. I mean, if you've been to a certain educated level, and I'm not talking physical level of any kind, I'm saying once you've watched Paris-Roubaix and you've watched the terrible horror that some cyclists go through that day, it draws you in if you have that in your gut. Like the first race I ever went to watch, what drew me into the sport, and I wasn't quite a bike racer yet, but I went out to Riverside State Park and I watched a time trial. And a friend who became a friend, Jay Herman of ours,
Great guy, yeah.
so he comes in and he was starting to like really he was a great cyclist at that time, junior cyclist, comes in with just blood all over his face. He had a bloody nose during a time trial. But it's like it was my moment of this is the coolest fucking sport. I basically rode my dad's bike to the race, watched it, and then rode home, and I was a cyclist. I did whatever I could do to always stay involved or stay somewhat in the know.
Finger on the pulse.
Yeah. So as you get away from it, and you come back and you get away from it, I think it's such a drawing sport that you don't ever lose your club membership of sorts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're always a cyclist.
Very much so. More than anything else that I've ever done, it is the thing that I would identify myself as. So
that's a great segue for the next video.
Yeah, we need next week's homework assignment.
So, I think that was part of, you asked me to do this and, share some of the videos. And to me,
I love this shit.
was all about, like, passion. And I played the big three, football, basketball, and baseball. Started playing baseball at 8 years old. Love the sport still to this day.
Yeah.
And I understand when people don't like it. I was asked to walk on in football as a receiver at Eastern. Said, no, I'm done with football. Played in the state tournament in front of 5,000 fans for the state championship in basketball. So all those were like, got the juices going. But ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to race a bike. And there was a moment in my life where we had the Olympic trials in '84, and I was in college, and I planned on seeing the stage that went up. Most people won't know,
5 Mile.
but 5 Mile.
Yep.
Yeah. And, of course, I was hungover and drunk, and I didn't.
So was college. I was 14, man.
I know. So, the thing is,
I was at that stage.
that was a launch. I thought, we have the Olympic trials here in Spokane. This is like, it launched me.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, my life changed. It changed me to, not that I don't drink beer now, but I was a huge binger, and it was like consume my life. So it was and I get the competitiveness, the team thing that I liked on team sports, the individual, and I did track. I had everything's mixed in this. The grueling part of bearing down the individual, just like getting inside your head, working with individuals on a team that you don't really jive with, but you have to work as a force to, I mean, all those sidelines. This is a very unique sport. And I really wanted to put that passion, forward. And I don't know if I'm doing a good job, but this next week is well, of course, I don't know if I told you guys, but I've been to Belgium.
What?
Yeah.
That was a setup.
That's right.
He always gives me a second.
Yeah.
Second to get
Pause.
and then get back. Yeah.
So, once you go there, you realize when you see the people, they didn't have what drew you to racing bikes. They're not. Majority of the people that watch in Belgium watch cycling. They've never raced or even cared to race.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
It's
they're
their
into
football.
it.
It's
That
their
is
football.
huge.
Yeah.
And so,
Or hockey if you're in Canada.
yeah,
Canadian,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
You just live and breathe it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sending this next video will be of Flanders Classic, which is a promotional. It does Omloop and it does Shelter Price and all those. You'll see them Tour of Flanders. So they do all the Flemish classics, and in there it's in Flemish, but it'll give you a number, and I'm gonna butcher it because it's in Flemish or actually probably Dutch, but to shower is viewers. So you'll see a number on the sport. You see how many people line the road to watch it, and then it's I think it's Kikker, which is that's viewers. So there's people to shower. Again, butchering it.
Like people watching
it.
People
on the road.
On the roadside.
It's the longer
Gotcha.
the to shower.
Yeah.
To shower. I think it is, and then the smaller word Kikker is those watching it on TV. And look at those numbers. I mean, these races are like Shelter Price. How many times have you watched that? Have you
Not very many.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Wait until you see the numbers in Belgium. These are Belgian numbers.
So
So
it's like the
that
whole
passion.
country. I was
pretty
going to
much.
say Super Bowl, but then you're like, well,
Well,
Belgium
Flanders
only-
is.
Oh, yeah.
I've been a cycling lunatic
No.
since the age of 13, and I can tell you, I haven't heard of Scheidel Price until probably 5 years ago. Honestly, I if it came in a winning magazine, I read about
Right.
it, but
Yeah.
it wasn't in there.
And,
So anyway.
the smaller it is, it's not the prestige, but or for us. But
So this is our selection for next week.
That'll be it, and I'll send it to you. But yeah, it'll be all those promotional. And then there's another story of 2015 was weather-wise was brutal, and you'll see. And one, Omloop, which is coming up. Look at the strategy that Stannard wins. He's against 3 quick step guys. Tom Boonen.
Ballerini and
No. This is 2015. So it's Tom Boonen and I can't remember the other guys. They're strong riders.
Yeah.
And he was with Sky. He was the only one there, and they attacked the shit out of him, and he still won.
Shit.
So I mean, it's just like holy cow.
Spoiler alert,
Yeah.
but in a good way.
Yeah, exactly. Watch
Yeah.
how he does that. I mean, I was like mesmerized. How do you beat 3?
the
This
best
still
team.
always been
Yeah.
the best team.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then Gent Velligem, which is always one of my favorite classes, classics, and that goes over the fields of Flanders, which is World War I infested battleground. Now that's kind of adopted that, but you can see the weather, and that is huge.
So let me interject by saying, if you want to get as crazy as we are about this kind of stuff, if you want to even just get a sample of what the shit we're talking about, just find these clips, and I'm sending these clips. I'll post these clips all over the place. I'll post them all over social media and things like that, and just play along with us. And it might be fun. If you're this far into an hour and 30-minute podcast, it's worth another 10 minutes of your time, right? So I want to get to the point where I say thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jackson, for being here once again.
Is he awake?
He's here. He's here. He's nodding. He's there. His camera is on the entire live stream, so he can't do anything except to sit there and smile. Thank you, Jack, for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
And I do have to say thank you to all of our friends. Thank you to all of our up and coming sponsors that we're talking to. It's so much fun getting all the shit together. And if you have not joined Club Packfiller yet, you guys should definitely look into it. And I'm not just saying that because I'm the guy who's in charge of Club Packfiller, but swag bags are going out. Our first swag bags are going out in less than a week. And they include our casquettes, sticker kits, and all kinds of fun stuff. We've got stuff from Gooder. We've got our friends at Gemelli Coffee and all kinds of stuff like that. They aren't necessarily directly involved, so I'm not going to mention that sponsor on that one there. Thanks, Joe the Jack. Like and subscribe and tell your friends. And be sure and check out our YouTube channel with all the kind of fun stuff we're doing on there. Jackson, have I missed anything? I asked you to help me out with that one.
Yeah, make sure to follow us on our social media pages if you're interested in catching up with us in between shows. Other than that, just keep an eye on those spaces and we'll keep you informed.
I do believe the word anything, if you're looking on social media, it has the word Packfiller in it because nobody else wants to do that. Nobody else wants to use that word. Either that or I own it. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Thanks, you guys, and thanks everybody for tuning in. And Brent Soderberg, you are a great guy, and you are always on our live stream. Call in anytime, dude. If you've listened this far, Brent Soderberg gets a gold pass to call in. Thanks, kidding. Everybody. That's off. Oh. That's off. YouTube.
So,
hold on. Don't say anything bad.
I can't say anything bad. So the one thing I didn't say about that whole